Thank you. The Honourable Taylor Martin.
Thank you, Mr President. Last month I attended the Lifeline Australia launch of Profiles in Hope by John Brogden AM, former leader of the Liberal Party in the other place. John's first book is a powerful collection of 15 deeply personal Australian stories that break down the wall of silence and stigma around suicide and give hope to those in crisis. James Packer, Lane Beachley and Ian Thorpe are just some of the brave Australians who have chosen to talk openly about suicidal ideation, mental health and, importantly, recovery. Should any of you pick up a copy, and I strongly urge you to, the story of Matt Caruana is particularly inspiring. In Australia, almost 9 people die by suicide every single day, which is roughly double the number of deaths in motor vehicle accidents. Suicide is the leading cause of death for people aged 15 to 44. Raising awareness is one thing, and I think that as a society we are very good these days at raising awareness of these sorts of issues. What John and the contributors to this book are able to do now is cut through even further and actually address the issue and assist others in having these conversations, life-saving conversations. I've spoken before in this place and outside about how suicidal ideation has impacted my life and those close to me. I've spoken briefly here about an instance where I was first on scene and intervened to prevent one of my best friends who was mid-attempt just a few years ago. The pressures of modern life, of messy interpersonal situations, of isolation, can lead to ideation and worse. The stories in this book and the brave contributors, the work of Lifeline and John Brogden, are doing great work in this space to normalise these conversations on mental health, or what I find myself talking more and more about, mental injuries. If you had said to me when I was in my early 20s that I would be having these conversations, I would be very perplexed. When I left university, I was in good health and great mental health, but I acquired what you would call a mental injury just a few years later. And I manage that every day now, and the good days far outweigh the bad. Beyond the tragic loss of a person's life, the impact of a single instance of suicide is felt by up to 135 people, according to Lifeline. This includes family members, friends, co-workers, and first responders. Moving from raising awareness to empowering people to address and prevent the damage done by suicidal ideation is a great service to our society, and I want to thank John Brogden and all the contributors to the book and encourage all members here to get themselves a copy of the book and get familiar with the effort to take the stigma out of having these tough conversations.
Thank you.